Hello, welcome to Nickjitsu guitar lesson. Today we're going to be going over 5 little tricks that you can use to improve your playing and make it extra specially, sparkly, widdly diddly and all that kind of stuff. I'm here in my wee studio in Watford and suffering from lockdown hair. So we have the 5 different exercises you can try. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. There you go. Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
YouTube.
What do you mean you need more value for your YouTube? Okay, here's 5 cool exercises you can try to make your playing super fabulous. I'm going to look at 5 exercises that are non-musical exercises. And the difference between a non-musical exercise and a musical exercise is that a non-musical exercise is something that you wouldn't necessarily get in a piece of music. Whereas obviously a musical exercise is something that you would get in a piece of music. So you wouldn't, a non-musical exercise you'd take would be something like this. Or you wouldn't necessarily get that in a piece of music. You wouldn't hire out Wembley for 10 nights and then go, "Hello, Wembley! Good night, Wembley!" You're not King Crimson, so don't even pretend. So this is what you would do. Non-musical exercises. They're going to help you build up your coordination and your speed and all that kind of thing. Now, why do you want to play fast? That's my question to you at the beginning of this video. And I'll answer it, what I think is the answer, at the end of the video. So stay tuned. So exercise 1 would be taking 3 notes on the E string, frets 5, 7 and 8, A, B and C. And what you're going to do is you're going to play it in triplets. Or in Scottish you can say chocolate. Not chocolate like you do in English, but when you speak properly, like what Scottish people do, you'll say chocolate. So if you do any of these exercises, you've got to do it with a Scottish accent. Chocolate, 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 chocolate. And then what you do is you then do the same thing, but backwards. Chocolate, 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 chocolate. Like that. And then, so that's triplets. We can then take that and we can vary these notes into 5, 7, 8, 7. And then 5, 8, 7, 8. And then we can do 8, 7, 8, 5. And then 8, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5. I've got it written down here because I can never remember the numbers. I can play it, but I can't do the numbers. Like that. That's one that I used to hear that guy Yngwie Malmsteen playing all the time. There you go. So each one of these, make sure that your fingers aren't coming flying off the fretboard. My old guitar teacher, when I first started, I thought it was cool to let your fingers fly off the fretboard, but I used to get into trouble from Eddie. Eddie Stewart was my old guitar teacher. Hello, Eddie. And he used to say, "Good grief, you could hang your washing off of those fingers. They're flapping about so much." So keep them nice and tight to the fretboard. Also, concentrate on your picking. Try and keep your picking no more than 1 millimeter away from the string. An alternate pick. Like that. Always alternate pick all these exercises, except on a Wednesday. Do what you want. Take any one of these patterns you want. Say take this one. And you can move it about linearly in any key. I'm going to just move it around in A minor. There you go. You never hear anybody play like that. To further expand this idea, it's not just enough to do it on one string. You want to be able to do it on all strings. And we really need to concentrate on building up the right hand. It's always the right hand that is the tricky one. And you just take exercise 1 and just start moving it throughout 2 strings. and then 3, 4, and eventually start doing it on all the strings. Like that. And again, metronome or timing or whatever. Now you want to get it nice and fast and nice and clean. And again, why do you want speed? Why do you want to be able to play fast? So next idea, just with this one idea, is to play it legato. And you can do this on a Wednesday when you can choose your own picking pattern. We can get silly now. And we can start exchanging the notes that we play. So instead of playing frets 5, 7 and 8, we'll play frets 5, 6 and 8. And do exactly the same thing. You know, etc, etc. And going through each one of these just with those notes. And then doing that up and down the strings as well. You can then change the fingers you actually use for that. Like that. Why is that hanging out? There you go. So exercise 2 that I'm going to show you, God, you get your value for YouTube here, is a Aldo Meola type exercise. It was taught to me again by Eddie Stewart, my old guitar teacher. I had about 3 months of lessons from him when I was about 15 or something like that. But one of the most valuable things he taught me was about the right hand. And this little exercise is something that he took from the album Friday Night in San Francisco, I do believe. An Aldo Meola, Paco de Lucia and John McLaughlin thing. Great album. And he worked out that whole album by ear. Yeah, some human feat that was. And this is the exercise that he showed me. It's on the B string, and you're playing E, F, G, A on the E string, and then back to G, F. So that would be 5, 6, 8, 5 on the top string, 6 and 8 on the B string again. So you get this. And again, keep your wrist on the bridge and alternate pick it. Like that. Try not to do the chewy fingers thing. I can't do it anymore. But it's like where you put a Roundtree's fruit pastel in there, in your imaginary mouth. And it's kind of chewing away like that. Can't help but chew. So keep everything just from the wrist and nothing else. So that when you're playing, you get that burst of speed on there. And also, the kind of next thing you can do with this, you can double up when you cross over the strings. Oops. Like that. We then do it backwards. This is kind of from the A minor scale. So if we take the top part of it, if we play C, B, A, G, and do the same thing, and then double up the note, then what we'll get is we can join the two together. So you can take every one of these exercises, and if you're up for an extra challenge, are you up for an extra challenge? Good. Watch this. You do it down all the strings and up all the strings. Now you see my pinky flapping about. You can hang your washing off of that. So idea number 3 is something a little bit more, it's kind of easy but difficult at the same time, depending on how difficult you want to make it. But it's a good warm-up exercise and a good coordination exercise. What I'm doing is I'm playing major add 9 chords and just going down in fourths. And I'm going from F sharp, so I'm not going to go through every fret and on all the strings. So it would take hours to do. So it's an F sharp major add 9. Very quickly, it's on the A string it's the 9th fret, D string 11th, G string 13th, and B string 11th. Oops. And then that's going to go to a B major add 9, which is the E string, 7th fret, A string, 9th fret, 11th fret on the D, and then 8th fret on the G. Like that. And I'm just doing them in chords, I'm doing them in 4-note chunks. Depending on what you want to work on, you can extend that exercise into picking all the notes. Like that. You can, I used to do it for trying to get my hybrid picking a wee bit faster. The sky's the limit, but use that as the idea, as the kind of basic idea of what you're doing. Idea number 4 is the one that I played at the very start. And that's just taking 2 notes, in this case A and B flat, so 5th and 6th fret. So especially if you're new to all this kind of stuff and you're trying to get your alternate picking up, just try that. Down and up, down and up. And then try the next 2 fingers. Try, so it'd be fret 5 and 6, 6 and 7. And then 7 and 8. You notice I'm using 1 finger per fret. So we're going to keep that as our general rule for this exercise. So, easy, yeah? You can do that, you can put them all together, do them in any combination you want. We can take exercise number 4 and we can start to play around with it a little bit more by using the ideas that we used in some of the other exercises, and that's just going up and down the string. Do it backwards. Like that. Do it with all the fingers. Do it legato, all that kind of thing. When you get to this one, the tendency I see in most people is to leave the first finger like that. Don't leave it hanging around. As soon as you play the note, lift it up. So if you want to take that one stage further again, make it even more difficult and build your dexterity, then, or you happen to be doing a masterclass and there's some smart aleck down the front that plays everything that you play and then starts showing off and answering awkward questions, put this in your lick bag. You're going to play the C and the C sharp on the same string, on G. You're not going to pick them, just keep your fingers down there. Imagine somebody's nailed them there. And then you're going to do that same exercise, fret 7 and 8. Or you can go down the strings and up the strings, just like that. But keep these 2 fingers down. Try that. You'll either be able to do it successfully, in which case you will have practiced it, or the 2 hemispheres of your brain will start coming apart like that. But it's a good fun exercise to do. It always brings a smile to your face. Finally, number 5. This is what I call the epileptic spider exercise. And I nicked this from John Patitucci from one of his instructional videos that I saw. Good grief, would have been about 16 or something like that when I was at music college. And what it is that you're playing 2 power chords. You're playing an A power chord and a B flat power chord. So you're playing fret 5 on the E, 7 on the A, 6 on the E, 8 on the A. And then what you do is you invert it into minor thirds. So you get fret 7 on the E, fret 5 on the A, fret 8 on the E, fret 6 on the A. Like that. And you alternate the picking, alternate the notes. Sounds quite sinister. But you can see I'm now beginning to expand, to extend the range that I'm playing. So you can try that on all the strings, just for a laugh. And you can see your fingers end up like a mad kind of spider. Alright? So have you worked out why you want to play fast yet? Is it for showing off? No. What about for impressing your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your mates or whatever? I can tell you now, me playing fast has never impressed a girlfriend that I've ever had. In fact, not a lot has actually. So in my opinion, the reason why you might want to be able to play fast is so that you can play what you want, not what you can. And there's a big difference between the two. I don't think any of us can actually play what we want. That's why we practice, and that's why we're striving to be better. But from my perspective, if I hear a violin concerto or I hear a guitar player play something or a piano player, I'm not thinking about how fast they're playing, because I'll play as fast as I need to get that musical point across. Certain pieces of music have to be played fast. Flight of the Bumblebee has to be played fast because it has to sound like a bumblebee. And you can't play it slowly. It doesn't make any sense. And believe me, I practiced it at that speed and it's boring. You want to be able to play it so it sounds like an actual bumblebee. So playing fast isn't a bad thing. It's a dynamic like everything else. When you play with overdrive or distortion, you lose a lot of the loud and soft dynamic that you might get with other instruments, acoustic instruments especially. So you've only got speed or effects to play with. So use your speed sparingly and use it intelligently, and use it where the music demands it. Don't force your will upon music. Let music tell you what it wants, basically. That's very zen, isn't it? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do with the thing on the subscribe and the bell and the thumb and all that kind of stuff. If you give me a thumbs down, I'll find out where you live and I'll come and sing at you. And I sound like a cross between Yoko Ono and an angry proclaimer. It's not a nice sound. Anyway, buy my album as well. I've got an album out, Hyperreal, Nickjitsu. Check for that on Bandcamp. There'll be links somewhere. And I will see you on the next video. Happy practicing. Thank you very much.